Hello friends, welcome back to my channel MEO Exam. So friends, in this video we will study about TTT and CCT curves. So basically the full form is time temperature transformation, and for CCT it is continuous cooling transformation curves. So in this video we will see how these curves are drawn and basic utilities of these curves. So let's begin with the video. So before we go on TTT and CCT curves, first let's see what are S curves. So as we know, the transformation for the pearl light will not start immediately. It will depend upon nucleation, and the nucleation will depend upon particular time and temperature. So friends, these S curves represents the time taken for full transformation from 0% to 100%. So friends, on y-axis it is we are presenting the percentage of transformation, and on the x-axis we are presenting the time. So basically if transformation starts at this point and it will end at this point, so initially the rate of transformation will be less, okay, then it accelerates and then it decelerates. So this is what is represented by these S curves. So these S curves are not present for Martensite, because for them the transformation happens at the speed of sound. So this transformation actually takes place immediately. Basically by using these S curves or family of S curves at different temperatures, we can draw the TTT curves. So this one TTT curve is drawn for a particular temperature. Okay friends, particular temperature and particular composition of iron and carbide. So the family of these curves will help in drawing TTT diagrams. So as you can see in this figure, this is the TTT curve. So friends, if we consider austenite, okay, for a particular composition and at a particular temperature T, okay friends, T1 I will say, and if we start cooling, then if suppose we are crossing this eutectoid temperature, okay friends, that is 723 degrees Celsius at eutectoid point, then what will happen? It will lead to pearlite structure formation. So the pearlite structure formation will take place. Suppose it starts at T1 and it ends at T2. Okay friends, so this is what we get. So what we have, one point is start and other point is stop. Okay friends, so what we will do, we will draw these 2 points at T1 corresponding to, like suppose we are drawing this TTT curve at 700 degrees Celsius, then we will have these 2 points 1 and 2. Okay, and similarly if we draw this S curve for suppose 600 degrees Celsius, okay friends, at 600 degrees Celsius we just wait, we just keep on waiting at 600 degrees Celsius. The transformation will start at this point and it will, it may start at this point and it may end at this point. Okay friends, so this is the starting point that we can represent over here, and this is the end point that we will represent over here, same. Okay, so this is how we get 600. Similarly we can get for 500 degrees Celsius and 400 degrees Celsius, and when we join these starting points and the end points all together, then the curve which is formed is called the time temperature transformation curves. Okay friends, hope this is understood friends. So these S curves are basically drawn for a particular composition and for a particular temperature. Okay friends, like below austenite temperature, that is 723 723 degrees Celsius. 723 degrees Celsius is the eutectoid temperature. Okay friends, so below this temperature, if at any temperature, suppose 600, 500, 400, at each temperature we can draw the S curves, and corresponding to the starting and ending point of all the S curves, we can join and draw these TTD curves. So let's see what all things are present in TTD curves. One more thing is that we don't only just get the this finish and end point, we can also get the 50% line also, or any percentage line in between from start to end. Now let's see what all things are present in these TTD curves. So as I told you friends, if suppose we are considering transformation at eutectoid point over here, and at 723 degrees Celsius or and above, the microstructure is this gamma iron, and if we cross this eutectoid point, like suppose this perlite transformation will take place at below this eutectoid temperature, and if we suppose bring down temperature to this 600, and over here if we maintain temperature temperature at 600 for sufficient time for the transformation to take place, then perlite structure will be there, but it could be porous. And if we cool to about below 500 degrees Celsius, like suppose over here, okay friends, suppose suddenly we cool till 500 and then we wait at 500 degrees Celsius, okay friends, and we wait for the transformation to complete, then we can get fine perlite. Okay friends, so depending upon the isothermal temperature at which we allow the transformation to take place, there will be different forms in the microstructure. Okay friends, so in this TTT diagram, basically we can have this coarse perlite structure, fine perlite structure, then there is something called upper benite, lower benite, and martensite. So basically this is actually totally, if you consider this is benite and martensite, so two more uh, microstructures or phases you are seeing here, and these phases we have not seen in the iron carbide diagram, and the reason behind is that, so these phases or structures are not stable or not stable in equilibrium. They are basically the metastable states, so that is why they are not present in iron carbide equilibrium diagram. Other thing is, the martensite basically does not require time for transformation. They are immediately transformed. This region above 723 degrees Celsius is actually stable form of the gamma, but as it crosses this temperature, this region represents the unstable form of gamma. This is martensite. For getting martensite, we should cool below this line. This is the actually start temperature for the martensite, and this is the finish of martensite temperature. In between, if we keep on waiting, nothing will change in the microstructure of the martensite. Okay friends, so these are all the informations which we get from this diagram. Basically, if we want to get if we want to get fine perlite, suppose, okay, then what we will do, we will just cool this austenite to this particular temperature, like suppose above 500 or this particular temperature, and then we will keep that specimen at this temperature for some time, okay friends, till full transformation takes place. Like suppose this is the starting time and this is the ending time, and what we will get finally is the fine perlite structure. So this is how we use this TTT curves in industry. Similarly, if you want bainite, we have to cool till here, and then isothermally we have to allow for the transformation to take place. But for the martensite, the transformation takes place at the speed of sound. Okay, and with the once it is once the structure is formed, and we keep we keep the specimen at that particular temperature, there won't be any change in microstructure. So this is what we get from these TDD curves. Now, why do we have CCT curves? So basically these TDD curves are for the isothermal temperature transformation that are taking place at isothermal temperature, that is at constant temperature. But in real life this is not possible. As we know that in industry the structures which are used will be in bigger size, so the transformation the heat transfer rate at surface and at the core of the steel will be different. So for that case, for there won't be any isothermal transformation in the microstructure. So for that we have continuous cooling temperature curves. That is, in practical applications we get these curves. These are basically family of curves which are utilized by the manufacturers to get the particular microstructure for that particular steel. Okay friends, now let's see what all CCT curves. So CCT curves are basically continuous cooling curves. That is, if we see this curve, this is we are cooling austenite from, like suppose 1400, and we are cooling it continuously. Okay, so there will be a start point, okay, and there will be a end point. So if we join these curves, then we will get this continuous cooling curves. Okay friends, other thing is these curves, as we compare as when these are curves are compared with the TTD curves, they shift little bit down and little bit towards right. Okay, as we can see from this diagram. And the thing is, there is no continuous cooling curve below the nose of this TTD curves. This is the nose. This is called the nose of the TTD curves. So there is nothing below the nose of this CCT curve. And the reason for that is that in CCT curves, the formation of bainite does not take place. Only perlite takes place, because the starting microstructure which is formed will be perlite. Okay friends, if suppose this is crossing and this is what till nose, like bainite takes formation of bainite take place after 500. This actually scale is not as per the eutectide steel, but the formation of bainite take place when the specimen is cooled below 500 at isothermal temperature. Okay, but in this below 500 there is uh, no curve. Basically after nose there is no curve. Nose actually takes place at approximately 500 degrees Celsius. So below 500 there is no nose for the TTD curves or CCT curves. So that is why bainite formation does not take place. This is called the critical cooling temperature, critical cooling curve, because it is just touching the nose. After this, what will happen? Only martensite will formation of martensite will take place. So till it doesn't uh, till the rate of cooling doesn't touch the this nose of this CCT curves, then till that time palite structure will be formed, and after when the rate of cooling is more, this arrow is actually showing the rate of cooling. That is, this way the rate of cooling is increasing. So above this critical cooling curve, let me change the color and show you the critical cooling curve. Friends, this is the critical cooling curve. Okay, it is just touching the nose of this curve. So when the rate of cooling just increases this critical cooling curve, then only martensite structure will form, and below this rate of cooling curve only palite structure will form. In this CCT curves, the bainite structure will not formation of bainite structure will not take place. So to have both perlite and bainite structure, all three, and martensite structure in CCD curves, what we will do, we have to add magnesium to it. Okay friends, so magnesium basically divides these curves into two parts, perlite and bainite, and this is the martensite. So basically over here division will take place. So in this, by using this by alloying with manganese, we can have perlite as well as bainite. So this is what all things this is what we should know about TTT and CCD curves. This basically helps in heat treatment of the steel. Basically these curves are drawn for a particular composition. Okay friends, if suppose this is the particular composition, okay, and at particular temperature, if we want to know uh, if we want that particular microstructure, like suppose if we want upper bainite, then we have to cool at this particular temperature, then only we will get the upper bainite. So we by using TTD curves, we know exactly at what temperature we have to keep the specimen for full transformation to take place, and finally at final stage we will have that microstructure in the steel. So this is the utility of these two curves. So friends, in next video I'll try to cover little bit about martensite structure and bainite structure and how the formation of these two structures takes place, and later we will see the heat treatment process, uh, which is what I wanted to make video on. But if we don't know the basics, the heat treatment process, it's of no use. Just mugging up the definition of annealing, tampering, everything, it is of no use. So let's understand the heat treatment process after we have studied about these two curves and iron carbide diagram. So hope you have enjoyed the video. Till have fun, take care.